Morning in Neosol's District 9 was always loud, vendors shouting, delivery bikes buzzing, neon signs flickering even in daylight. But Cale Elric walked through it all as if wrapped in silence. He adjusted the strap on the small parcel he was delivering, his black hair catching the sunlight, his slightly brown skin blending in with the dozens of other workers weaving through the crowded street. A simple t-shirt, faded jeans, and old sneakers made him forgettable exactly how he liked it. At 25, Cale looked like any young man scraping by in a noisy, fast-moving district. But the way he moved, it was too balanced, too controlled, too aware. He wasn't born for this life. He was hiding from it. Rowan Cho's small repair shop sat wedged between a noodle stall and a pawn center. Its blinking holosign read, Cho Electronics, Old Tech, New Life. As Cale stepped inside, a bell rang softly. Rowan, now in his late 60s, was looking at an open circuit board, his glasses low on his nose. His grey hair was tied neatly, posture still sharp, the discipline of an old butler that never left him. "You're early," Rowan remarked, his voice a low rumble. "Traffic's light today," Cale said, setting the parcel down. Rowan studied him quietly. Most people saw a simple delivery boy. Rowan, however, saw the last heir of the Elric family. "You noticed the men on the corner?" Rowan asked without looking up from his work. Cale nodded. 4 of them. 2 pretending to fix a bike. 1 at the food stall, 1 blending with the students. "You've been careful, always." "Good." Rowan returned to his work, but his eyes had darkened with worry. "They're getting closer." After closing the shop for lunch, Rowan lowered the metal shutters halfway and motioned Cale to the back room. Behind rows of shelves was a concealed door, which opened to a small underground training room, just big enough to move, just sparse enough to remind Cale of who he once was. Again, Rowan instructed, tossing him to rattan sticks. Instantly, Cale's movements transformed. Gone was the quiet delivery boy. Gone was the mild-mannered assistant. In his place moved a silent warrior, lean, muscles tight, arms fluid, feet precise. Tock, tock, tock. The sticks cracked through the air as Cale shifted smoothly between Filipino collie strikes and Aikido footwork. Rowan watched with a sharp, critical eye. "You're hesitating," he said. Cale stopped, sweat running down his jawline. "I'm trying to stay invisible." Rowan exhaled deeply, his disappointment evident. Invisible men don't survive when hunters already know their scent. Cale stayed quiet. He hated that Rowan was right. As the afternoon waned, Cale rode his bike through District 9, making his final deliveries. But something felt off. There were too many eyes following him, too many unfamiliar faces lingering in the crowds. At a pedestrian crossing, he spotted a reflection in a car window. A man behind him was reaching into his bag. Cale's heartbeat slowed. His mind calculated the distance, the angle, the timing. 3 seconds. That's all he needed. The man stepped closer. Cale kicked up his bike stand, pedaled hard, and sped forward just as the man's hand slipped from his bag. Cale didn't look back. He felt Rowan's voice echoing in his mind. "When they finally come for you, you won't need to look. You'll know." When Cale returned to the repair shop, he froze. The door was half open. Rowan never left it ajar. Quietly, Cale pushed it open. The lights were flickering. Shelves were knocked over. A chair lay broken on the floor. "Rowan," Cale called softly into the dim, chaotic room. A faint groan answered from the back. Cale rushed inside and found Rowan slumped against the wall, blood staining his sleeve. Standing over him were 3 men in tactical jackets, Their faces were unknown, but their movements were trained and dangerous. The leader smirked, his gun pointed directly at Rowan. "We finally found you, Elric." Cale's spine went cold. For 20 years, no one had said that name aloud in front of him. The leader tapped his gun lightly against Rowan's head. "Orders are simple. Bring you in alive. The butler is optional." Cale exhaled slowly. His mind sharpened, his muscles loosened. The quiet boy of District 9 was gone. What stood there now was the last survivor of Austrasia's rank #1 family. The gun clicked. Cale moved. He avoided the bullet with impossible speed. In a single breath, he closed the distance, slammed the barrel of the gun downward, twisted the attacker's wrist, and sent the weapon skidding across the floor. The second man swung a baton. Cale stepped into the attack, redirected the blow with one hand, and elbowed him hard in the throat. The third man reached for a knife, but Cale swept his legs out from under him and pinned him to the ground with a precise knee strike to the chest. In under 12 seconds, the room fell silent. Rowan stared at him, not surprised by his skill, but terrified of what this meant. "They found us," Cale said softly, his voice strained. Rowan grimaced in pain. "Then it's time. The vault, the safe houses. You'll need them all." Cale swallowed hard. "I didn't want this life. You don't get to choose anymore," Rowan whispered, his voice urgent. "You are Cale Elric, and the families know you live." Sirens echoed somewhere outside. Red and blue lights flashed through the cracks in the shutters. Rowan's voice stiffened. "Go." Cale clenched his fists, his heart pounding against his ribs. He stepped back toward the door. For the first time in 20 years, he wasn't running from his past. He was stepping into it. If you're excited to follow Cale's journey and see him reclaim his birthright, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss a single moment of this epic saga. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next chapter.